Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. As we wrap up this week of looking at Bible stories in which lamps play a part, I was torn between two parables Jesus told, both of which are fairly familiar to us. The first one was about the 10 maidens who were waiting for the bridegroom, and the foolish ones run out of oil for their lamps and had to go buy some. Meanwhile, the bridegroom came, but they were still away, and they missed the whole thing. Usually, we interpret that one to mean that we need to be alert and ready whenever and wherever we encounter God. I thought about that story for a long time and came to the conclusion that while lamps are an important part of the actual parable, they don't really have much to say about our faith in that story. In the story Jesus told, they simply play a role and not much more. On the other hand, I think the lamp in another parable Jesus told does reach beyond itself into our lives. Jesus is telling parables to express God's joy in receiving sinners who repent, and he tells 3 stories to illustrate that and God's grace for us. Here's the story involving lamps as Jesus told it in Luke 15. Or what woman, having 10 silver coins, if she loses one of them, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? When she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, "Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin that I had lost." Just so I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Now, I could go on and on about this parable. There are many tendrils of it that snake their way into our lives for us to follow. However, we are supposed to be looking at the role of lamps in the story, and I think the role of the lamp here is important. Before we get to that, however, I need to remind you that in those days, houses had dirt floors. So a coin lost on the floor could easily get covered over by a layer of dirt and not be seen. That's why she sweeps so carefully to try to uncover it. And that's why she lights the lamp. Inside, where there isn't full sunlight, she needs the light to glimmer off of any surface on the coin that gets exposed. A denarius, the coin they knew at the time, was equal to a day's wage. So this was a significant amount, and perhaps meant the difference between her family eating or not. It was important for the coin to be found. And that's when I thought about the lamp. You see, the coin does nothing in order to be found. It sits there helpless, passive, inert, unable to do a thing to help it be found. Lost. But the woman lights the lamp to help her search, and she won't give up until the coin is found. And that's exactly Jesus' point in the story. You see, in the same way God searches for us, we can't do anything to get ourselves found. All we can do is sit, silent, inert, passive, helpless, lost. But God goes to great lengths to find us, to save us, to recover us back to where we belong. God sweeps the floor. God lights the lamp. I don't know if you saw the movie Bruce Almighty, but I've always liked the image throughout the movie of God mopping the floor, cleaning up our messes. And maybe you've noticed how, as Bruce grows in his faith, there is that scene where God and Bruce are mopping side by side, swinging left and right together, in step with each other. Bruce has been recovered and grows more and more like God. I once was lost, but now am found, we sing in the hymn Amazing Grace. We are found by and in the light of God. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.